All right, Matt Morrow, Charlotte Football Insiders. We're here once again, bringing you another great interview with a coaching legend here in the Charlotte metro area. This man has led teams throughout 3 decades, being by the side of one of the greatest coaches of all time in high school football, in my opinion. And, we're real excited to hear what he has to say. I feel like he's got a lot to say. And it's going to be very interesting and entertaining. And that's Coach Bill Geiler. We're going to bring him in right here. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing well. Hope you are.
Man, I'm doing great. I'm just glad that we have this opportunity to sit down with you and, kind of go through some history and some stories and, all that good stuff. I mean, we already had some fun conversation off camera. And, I think we're going to have some more on camera right now.
Okay.
All right. So let's get it started, man. So first question is simply, how did you get your start into football?
Well, I played Pop Warner as a kid. I played wide receiver. I was a little skinny kid then. And then I went to college and really didn't know what I wanted to do. And I decided to major in physical education and take a lot of coaching classes. And it's just what I love to do. So that's how I got started. I played and wasn't very good. Couldn't play in college, so I wanted to stay in the game.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm with you. I was okay, but
I started as a sophomore, but we had a small high school up in New Jersey, so everybody played.
Oh, there you go. There you go, man. That's awesome, man. So from that point, what really got you into coaching?
Well, I couldn't find a job out of college. I applied all over North Carolina. Everybody said, you don't have any experience, come back when you get some. So I took a job counting cans in a grocery store, starting at midnight, working until 4 a.m. And then I got a call from CMS that they had a job opening. I interviewed. I got the job at Spa Junior High. I took it as a volleyball coach. And after the first day of school, the principal made me assistant football coach, and I've been coaching football since 1977.
Man, that's awesome. So how good of a volleyball coach were you, though?
I didn't know one thing about it, but I needed a job, so I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." I could read a book, I guess. I had no idea. And coach girls, oh my! So they made me the girls basketball coach. We went 23-1 in 3 years.
What?
We only lost one game. We would scrimmage the boys. Those girls were awesome.
Wow.
They could play. Oh, yeah. 23-1. As we sure did.
Gracious. Man, that's a little known fact right there. Who knew?
Well, yeah, I coached girls basketball. Sure did.
Man, that's great. That's great. All right, man. So, a lot of us know Tommy Knox, legendary coach here in the area. And then some, a lot of us football fans know John Strong, a longtime OC with you guys. How did that relationship kind of begin and coalesce to last for all the years that it did?
Well, when Tommy went to Independence, when he left Independence to go to Harding, he worked under Will Holhauser, and then Will left and Tommy got the head job. Well, John was the varsity basketball coach and Tommy was the JV basketball coach. So John was coaching football prior to that, but he took a year off. Tommy's first year, John didn't coach. And then the second year, Tommy talked John into coming back out. And he was Tommy's number one guy helping him run the offense. John, we called him the professor because he's very smart.
Yeah, man. He coached from the box all those years, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
he sure did.
So in your opinion, who did Tommy call all the plays, or did
yes, sir?
Okay.
Yeah, every once in a while, this is true. He would, because he made me wear headphones, and I hate headphones, but I could hear. And a couple of times I heard him say, "John, what do you got?" Because I got nothing. And then John would call a play into the headphone, and Tommy call it. But very rarely. Tommy didn't need any help. He needs no help calling plays.
Well, we know that. That's been evidence through, all these years, man. All right. So take us through your coaching career. You mentioned you got started at Spall, but then, specifically the years where you were at Harding and then on to West Charlotte and Independence and kind of on down the line.
Okay, I left my last year at SPA. We had a great football team. Anthony Houston was my quarterback as an 8th grader. The rest were mostly 9th graders. And we all went over when they made Harding a 9 through 12 school. And I got hired as an ISS teacher, and Tommy made me his offensive line coach. That's my first year over there with Tommy as a head coach. Then we stayed there. Tommy left to go to West Charlotte. I want to say in maybe 88 or 89, and we stayed at Harding, and we played him, and he beat us 13-10 on a field goal when we went over there to play. And then the following year, we all went over to West Charlotte with Tommy.
Wow. I mean, so, I'm a Harding grad, from the dark ages of 99 where, we weren't very good. And it's always interested me, those years and the years before you guys left and went to West Charlotte. So tell us about, a young Tom Knox and how you guys got it going, because your first 2 years at Harding weren't, anything.
3-7.
Yeah.
For our first year, we were very senior heavy. He had a certain way of doing things, and sometimes seniors don't buy into that because it's new. And he did everything himself. We did individual, and after that, he did everything else. And it made him sick. I mean, we worried about him. We had trainers looking at him during games. Blood pressure was bad. And he called me over Christmas after that first year and said, we're not doing it like this anymore. So the second year, we had a whole bunch of 9th graders and 10th graders that were starting for us. And we went 3-7, but we had some Anthony Houston played quarterback. We had Mark Lattimore played center. We had a freshman middle linebacker. And he just wanted it done a certain way. You were going to lift weights. You were going to do right in school. You were coming to practice every day, or you weren't going to play. And after that second year, we made the playoffs every year after that. Tommy was the first guy that I know of to run the one-back offense in Charlotte. He was a Redskin fan. And our first year, we had 2 great running backs. And he couldn't figure out how to get them both the ball. So he wanted to try putting another person out of the box to get a defender out of the box. And he went to one back and started throwing the ball a little bit with Anthony Houston and made the playoffs every year after that.
Yeah, I got a couple of those old tapes, and I love looking at, he was running, some of that. I think you mentioned the old Redskin stuff. Mm-hmm. You can see it from Joe Gibbs, the one back, H back motion type stuff.
That's him.
Yes, way ahead of his time. But I want to talk about defensively. Defensively, they were nasty too. I think it looked like they were playing like a 5-2. And then it kind of, changed up a little bit based on the opponent. But, there were some nasty defenders you guys had at Harding as well.
We did. He brought Buddy Rigo over to be the defense coordinator. He moved me to defense. I coached defensive backs, and Buddy coached linebackers. And we ran we called it a bandit defense. Buddy just used to draw stuff up. I still have some of the original stuff that he drew. And we just called it bandit and put an extra linebacker / DB in the game and took out a lineman and just started flying around, and the kids started buying into it. And we used to say, if you can't run, you can't play defense here. So, we'd make them run track and get faster. And that's how they played. I mean, they just played hard,
Absolutely. Now, you guys got real good. And then in 87, you had the state title game against Garner. At Memorial Stadium. So what do you remember about that game?
Well, unfortunately, what I remember is the first play of the game, they handed the ball to Anthony Barber, and my safety, who made all conference that year, never moved. Barber was past him so fast and in the end zone, my kid, all he did was turn his head, and it was a touchdown. Good. So we got the ball first, and I think we might have scored or went down quick, but their first offensive play was a touchdown to Barber. And he had all but about 14 yards, I want to say, of their offense that night. And they beat us. But we were very undersized. Our quarterback, Ed Lawing, was just a little guy, small hands. Boy, he was a tough-nosed kid. And Tommy just ran that offense to death. But we got outmatched that night. Garner was a good football team. They beat us bad.
Yeah, I've seen, the game's up on YouTube, along with, the thing that the Garner coach was talking about in the locker room. And, I think it was something about country bumpkins or something crazy.
Yeah, Tommy used to get mad about stuff like that, but he'd come in and the kids would go, "Well, coach, maybe that's what we are." It didn't bother the kids much. It bothered Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy, a lot of stuff bothered Tommy back then.
Yeah, before I move on to West Charlotte, I gotta say, I remember hearing, about all these stories about running up the score, and no,
sir, 100% not true. What the maddest I ever saw Tommy Knox was when teams did not prepare for him. That would make him mad. He never one time ran the score up ever. We got accused of it. I think we beat East Gaston when they were just getting started bad, but we ran 22 offensive plays that day. We scored they dropped punts, they fumbled kickoffs. I mean, again, and it came out in the paper and everybody was mad, but I can guarantee you, I promise, we never, ever, in all the years I was with him, ran the score up on anybody.
I hear you, man. I hear you. That's strong. That's strong, man. And you're,
but coaches will tell you it's my job to stop you. It's not your job to stop you. So if he's running dive right and dive left, which in quarterback sneaks, which we didn't even practice, you better tackle him. I mean, we can't tell our guys to not stop playing. When you got your second and third teamers in there, they get a right to play too.
Yeah.
They get beat up in practice going against, first teamers. They get a chance to play. You got to let them play.
That's right.
He didn't ever run the score up, ever.
I got you, man. I got you. Good stuff. All right. So then you guys, like you said, you stayed for 1 year at Harding and then played Tommy. You mentioned a 13-10 score. I mean, how weird was that feeling with him not being there? I think it was Rigo that became the head coach, right?
Yeah, Buddy Rigo took the job, yes. And John and I stayed over there with Buddy, yes. And we had to go over to West Charlotte and play, and it was weird. I mean, you've been with somebody a long time like that, seeing him over on the other side. And I remember there were gunshots in the game, and we're all laying on the field, and Tommy's running up in the stands to try to figure out where the gunshots were coming from.
Oh man, good gracious! I remember, I remember that drill we did. It was the gun drill, and then someone would yell "gun," and you had to get down on the ground and protect your head in practice. I mean, just crazy stuff, man, crazy stuff. So, you guys went on to West Charlotte, and then you had all the success there. Now Tommy was taking over for Bruce Harden.
Yes.
And then did you guys feel any pressure to live up to a standard? Because, Bruce was, pretty much making his name, known as a household name at the same time.
Right. Well, I can't say any pressure. Tommy never felt pressure, I don't think. At least he never expressed that to us. So it didn't trickle down to us. We're just going to coach our kids and get them to play as hard as they can and let everything take care of itself. But I can't say we felt pressure. I mean, Bruce is a friend of mine and a friend of Tommy's. They used to compete like crazy, and that was a big rivalry. But we never felt any pressure that I remember.
Good deal, good deal. So, Coach, when did you become Tommy's defense coordinator?
When John Overcash retired, he needed a DC, and I said, "Well, I wanted to do it." So he said, "Well, okay." So then it was me and him locked in an office, going over stuff, and he did a lot of the work, and I called defenses during the games, and then he just sort of let me do it. And then in '95, the year we won the championship, I'm the defense coordinator all summer, and we had a chance to get Scott Braswell, who's a great football coach, had left Olympic, and we had a chance to get him on the staff. And the day before practice was to start officially, me and him went to lunch together, and we're sitting there in the parking lot, and he goes, "I got to tell you something. I'm bringing Braswell over, and he's going to be the coordinator. You're going to coach offensive line." And I said, "Get the hell out of here." I said, "No, I'm not." He said, "Yes, you are." I said, "No, I'm not." I said, And he said, "Well, who's going to do it?" So, I went home and my wife was out of town and I was feeling down in the dumps. I mean, I was mad. So I come to practice the next day and it's the first day of practice. Hell, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, offensive line, what the heck? I hate offense. What do you make me do that for? So I'm coaching offensive line, and after practice, boy, he just lit me up. And I said, well, you better tell me what you want me to do because I'm lost. So long story short, we won a state championship that year with Braz calling the defense. In 1996, we had a better team than we had in 95, and we got beat on a 2-point conversion that we knew was coming against Page. And then Braz left to go to Hoggart, and I told Tommy, I'm the defensive coordinator. I'm out of here because I can't do offense anymore. He said, okay. So I was his coordinator ever since.
Man, that's an awesome story right there, Coach. That's great. That's great.